Good afternoon, everyone. We're back, and we're going to get ready to start yet again another ice sculpture. And for those of you who have not been with us in previous years, I thought I'd give a little PowerPoint about what we did last year and a little explanation. As many of you know, I spent a long time in Alaska, and I had children in Alaska. And of course, Alaska has very long winters. So everybody in Alaska really knows how to have fun in winter. It's like the Scandinavian countries. You know, you think of all the kind of fun things that people can do in winter. And one of the fun things that people would do in Alaska is get their garden hose with some electrical heat tape and build some kind of contraption in the front yard and put a sprinkler on top of the contraption and let the ice form a sculpture. And so we decided to do this last year, and James just did an outstanding job. And like last year, we didn't have much snow to begin with. And the weather kept freezing and thawing and freezing and thawing. But, you know, that's part of the fun of an ice sculpture. You don't need to have snow all the time or even freezing temperatures all the time, because it can build and then thaw and then build again and then thaw again. So I'm going to start off with a little PowerPoint presentation here of what we did last year, just so that you have a good idea of what we're all about here. So let me do a screen share here if I can get my mouse to do its thing. Okay, here we go. All right. So you should be seeing James and Bona. Bona was just a puppy last year, wasn't he, James? You just had gotten him not all that.
Yeah, just a couple months old, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, full of herself. Yeah. Anyway, when I mentioned this to James, you know, originally I said, you know, in Alaska, we just took anything metal that we could find and just built something. And that was all I needed to say to him. He went rummaging around the grounds, and we have, of course, patio furniture and chicken wire and all kinds of things. I think you've got some grills off of some sort of hibachi, or I don't know what they are. It looks like some tomato stands that are kind of jetting out of this contraption. And he put this whole thing together out in the activity yard. And here he is getting to the top of it and attaching a sprinkler system, which he then attached the hose to one of our in-ground water systems. So this is the start of what you would call an ice sculpture, and just let the water, you know, cling to the metal and freeze. And pretty soon, voila, you have a frozen structure. And this was about 2 or 3 days into this little operation. And I think you can see that inside, we never know what to call this guy. Some people called him a wizard, and some people called him a magician. You had some lights in there, didn't you, James? Some looks like you got some lights strung on in that guy.
Yeah, we got some special LED lights that are fully covered so that water can't get inside and short them out. And so we used those. And, we just kind of strung those up and down and made these cool patterns, and the lights change colors automatically. So it would just kind of glow, and it was sort of like this constantly changing orb of ice.
Yeah, and I don't know at what point you put on that cowboy hat. And I think that lasted through half of the operation, and it really proved to be a fun part of the deal. As you can see, as the weather changed, we had snow, and then we didn't have snow, and then it got frozen, and it got more and more frozen, and here it is when it's, you know, really frozen, and even the hat is frozen. And on a particularly beautiful sunny day, may have been the same day that I took this photo, I decided to take a little video of the ice sculpture so that you could see the light coming through the ice, which was really pretty. And this was towards the middle of February. So sometimes these things go on for a couple months and it'll freeze and thaw. Who knows what's going to be like in another month. But you can see the light shining off of the ice. It was really icy this particular morning. And I'm just going to scan the camera all the way up this ice sculpture, and you can see the different patterns of ice.
It was really interesting. It's kind of like you noted with different types of river ice. We would get different types of structures that would happen here depending on the temperature.
It's kind of lacy there. Lacy. Yeah. And knots and you can see the sun just glittering off of it. It was very pretty up close. We need to do some up close stuff this year, James, if it forms like this again. And then on top you can see the water spilling, which of course is the source of it all. And I've always found these contraptions to be a lot of fun because, you're not in charge. Whatever happens, happens. And I really appreciated the fact that James went to all the effort to put lights in there, because that meant that at night we could see it along with the lighted trees made from the flagpoles that you had positioned behind it. He really does look like a wizard or a magician, doesn't he? In this picture. I didn't plan on the humanoid figure at all. I was just going for something random, but like a lot of creative projects, they sort of take on a life of their own, and this one thing led to another, and pretty soon we had some sort of a humanoid, so we went with it. Yeah, absolutely. Well, that is the whole fun of all of this. So as James was saying, he put some lights in this guy, and the lights would change from, different colors throughout the night, which really made a really fun display for all of us to see every night. So I'm as curious as all of you are as to what exactly James has in mind for this year. So James, do you want to talk to us about this? I'll go ahead and stop sharing my screen. And why don't you jump on and give us a little sketch of what you're thinking this year?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and head outside here, and we'll take a look. The branch cam should be up and running. It's a bit breezy out, so pardon the wind noise on my microphone here, but blowing in some snow and all kinds of fun. So you can see we started cleaning up a little bit of the Christmas stuff, and I did stretch our big long hose out, and we've got our heat tape taped to it with electrical tape. We've got the end of our wand here with the sprinkler nozzle, so we're all ready to go there. But we've kind of got a distance limitation here with this hose. It stretches to about right here. So I'm trying to figure out the best way to position this. And to be honest, what I'm thinking is maybe getting rid of this flagpole here. We'll keep the lights behind it, maybe on the fence. But I was considering bringing out either the volleyball stanchions with the poles and rigging something up, or I continue eyeing all this wood that we've got, all these rails and things that are no longer useful for fencing. But I was thinking about building something out of all this wood and maybe making some sort of a teepee or some sort of geometric shape. And then we've got wire, and we definitely have to use wire as part of this, just because it helps the water kind of mold around it, and it gives that water some sort of a shape other than just a straight line to go down. So chicken wire works great. I've even got some screening mesh here that works out really well. And And I've been staring at these tires for a long time and wondering what in the world to do with them. So maybe we'll incorporate that into the structure as part of what we do. But I'm trying to go for something maybe a little bit more geometric this year.
Oh, everyone's liking the idea of a teepee kind of a structure. And also it seems like if you did that, and if you could crawl into it, okay, let's make it really fanciful, James. You could have the flamingos stand guard, and we could even put a light inside of it. Maybe one that changes color. Go for it.
Yeah, so I've been thinking about that whole something to go inside, and in order to do that without it filling up with ice, I'm going to have to definitely take some care in how we drape or get the water to bead off around the opening. We either kind of put up almost a roof type structure, or maybe some plastic, something that just keeps that water from going straight down the middle and building up there. So yeah, that'll be a little bit of an engineering project for sure. Another concept I had was to, take tires and just sort of stack them, on their sides, and then you'd have a nice hole through there. So we might incorporate some of that as well.
Well, you're already getting people excited about the concept of watching you crawl into an ice cave, James.
Yeah, I have to be careful what kind of ideas I suggest, because I know that they'll grow by tenfold, and next thing you know, I'll regret even expressing an idea at all.
It's true. We're going to egg you on for sure. But that sounds really fun, some kind of geometric design that, but you can put some lights in there to begin with. So even if it does freeze, we've got that possibility.
Yeah. And the other thing we've got, and I don't know if I'll be able to use these or not, they're a little bit unwieldy, but we've got all these old beat up irrigation pipes. And we've talked about using those for something. So I might, I don't know. We'll see. I might incorporate those into something. Maybe that'll be part of the TP. I'm not sure yet here. So it's going to get interesting. So I'll be out here over the next week. So by this time next week, there should be some semblance of a structure up and running. And we're going to keep an eye on the weather. And as soon as it gets cold enough for long enough, we'll start turning the water on and letting that build up. And this is something we have to do on a daily basis. We check the temperature, come in, turn on the water. Oftentimes it's overnight, and then we'll turn off the water during the day, because if it warms up and you're running water, all that water just ends up melting the ice back. So we kind of have to stay on top of it once we start.
Yeah. Yeah, this is going to be fun. Again, I want to thank you, James, for your fun spirit, for your willingness to let us draw you into these crazy projects. And you've got a great sidekick, Buna's already.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, she's old enough this year that she can run away with some of my props if I'm not careful. I think last year I had her staked down so she couldn't run off too far, but she does pretty well sticking around this year if I can keep her from taking my sticks away.
Well, a couple of viewers had a really good idea, James. Maybe you could build it around a fire pit in the inside, so that if you could get into it, there's no, you might just have it there. You could build a fire.
There you go. Yeah. Or we could do like the coffee can fire like you do on campouts or something. We could build a nice little cozy fireplace in there. So yeah, and have the flamingos in there. We could have a regular old jam session. Yeah, and I think last year we had the mobile cam set up, so we were getting some ground level shots. So we'll probably do some of that action this year. I'm not sure what our other plans are with the mobile cam, but we'll get it set up so we can at least get some straight on shots like you were showing in the presentation earlier. Because that's nice, because as you can see now at the wind, the ranch pole is swinging quite a bit, and the mobile cam doesn't do that as much. So.
Yeah, and it's also really nice to have ground views, particularly if there is an entrance to which people can come and go. Yeah, this is really fun. I really appreciate your doing this.
Yeah. So I think I will take down this tree. That'll give us plenty of room to work with. This flagpole tree. We'll put some lights up behind it to give it a nice backdrop, and I will incorporate some sort of glowing lights in and around the new structure. So it'll be a creative expression for the winter for sure.
Well, this is perfect. And I'm going to remind our viewers that we're always open to suggestions for add-ons. And even if James can't implement it, we can always have fun talking about it.
Oh, yeah. And sending pictures or videos. I think we got a few great video suggestions last year. That was a lot of fun to kind of check out and get some ideas. So I'm going to step back inside here so the wind doesn't blow me away.
Yeah, it's a really windy day today. So, well, again, folks, let us know what ideas you have and stay tuned throughout the week to see James putting this whole thing together. It might be nice if we got the thing built before the snow and icy weather came, James, and then it can all take its own shape.
Absolutely, yeah. We'll definitely be trying to get ahead of the weather, that's for sure.
Well, this has been fun, James. I really appreciate all your effort. And with that, I think we can sign off and watch you as you work throughout the week.
Absolutely. Awesome. Well, thanks, Suzanne. Yep, we'll be back with more here in a few minutes. I think you're giving an introduction to a new series coming up, so we're all looking forward to that.
Good. I'll see you in about a half an hour.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.